So in the second part of creating chances, we look into wing play, where it's very important. Many teams, basically all teams, play with wing, but the amount of crosses that is going wrong, or even the communication when the cross is coming in and the striker or a midfielder getting into the box, has to improve, in my opinion. But we give some examples here that actually showing how it is done. We're going to example number 1, where you see here a build-up from Goa against Northeast in the back. The center back is looking for options. You see Edebudia here below in the field, but he's covered. And he's looking for options. Brandon, he just dropped off. He received the ball. And last year, Brandon, right away, when he received the ball like this, he was looking for Jackie Chan. So he's looking right away for that deep play. He has that ability. Now, what is important here is if you have a player like this with that ability, who's looking for those deep balls, because you don't need to play football in the back if you have options forward and you have players who have the ability to put the ball behind the defense line, like Jahu, like in this case Brandon. Also Edebudia has that ability, but he's looking now to switch play to the other side, and this is important. So you don't need to make a build-up, but what you do is you skip actually 4 midfielders of the opponent team and put a player right away in a 1v1 situation. So let's skip it back. So you skip the side from one side to the other side, and you right away eliminate 4 midfielders of the opponent team and put your own team in a 1v1. If you have good wingers, then that is important, because that's the players who are creative. So you see here the player getting in a 1v1. He's either going inside or outside. That of course depends on his opponent. In this case, he went inside and came into a situation to shoot on the goal. It was not a goal, but just to highlight from the build-up. Sometimes no need to make it difficult, but switching play to the other side. If you have players who have the ability to switch play, and you have wingers that are good in a 1v1, make sure you use them. We go to example number 2. This is a very important one. There was here a 1v1 situation in the same game. But what is important, that as a winger you need to see if it's crowded, that you don't try to worm your way through. You many times still see that with Indian wingers or even foreigners. If it's too difficult, don't try to make it, try to worm your way through. Have vision. Cut the ball off, try to take the ball out, and we try from the other side. In this case, that is happening. Edebudia sees the ball here. The first thing Edebudia does is he's checking for deep play. That means you see he's checking after he received the ball from the winger. He's making a deep run. And he could play that ball behind. That is not happening because the defender closes the space, and he decides to look again, and he sees on the wing side Brandon in a 1v1. So he opens the ball quickly to the wing play. He eliminates all those Northeast defenders, because here, as we said, it's a 1v1 and you need to use players that are good in 1v1, and also there is the space. So now Brandon cuts off the ball, and now it becomes very interesting. The striker, he has to anticipate on the moment the cross is coming in that he makes a run. So here the striker thinks that Brandon is taking the cross and starts running inside. You can see it here, where the striker you can see it on his body language, starting to move forward. But Brandon decides to cut the ball. And while the striker is running, that means he needs to position himself. So here Brandon cuts the ball instead of crossing, and you will see it in the next picture. The striker steps back to reposition himself. Very important. All this has to be aligned, the cross and the movement. So you see here the striker waiting, he repositions himself, and again the same situation. The moment the cross is coming in, he starts running forward in front of his defender. A great cross with the left foot of Brandon, gets in front of the defender, and you get a goal. So everything is about the right timing and of course the quality of the crossing. Example number 3, the last one. where it's more about the midfield. You see here Mumbai City making a build-up, and we focus on Burgess, Roland Burgess, who I spoke before when he was with me under Northeast, a midfielder who can play box to box, always shows up on the right moment. You see it here in the game against Odisha, the build-up from the back here. The ball is played into the midfield where Bart Ogbeche dropped in, bounces the ball off to Bomos. Bomos gets the ball, and already you see Bipin starting to go forward, maybe for a deep play. All about deep runs, all about creating deep play. We see here Bomos getting the ball, but he starts dribbling. This reaches till up front, but again we focus here on Burgess. All about timing. So Bomos reaches till this area, plays the ball to Bipin. After Bomos plays the ball to Bipin, he makes a run behind the defense line. Again, a distraction. And what is important again is here Burgess and even Bart Ogbeche, who is running into the box. But now the thing is coming. That means the cross is coming in, and Burgess is there on the right moment, steals it in front of Bart Ogbeche, and you get the cross and a header on the ground. Impossible for the keeper to catch, and a goal. So there you have examples of wing play, putting players in 1v1s. That means the winger makes a dribble, 1v1 is creative, gets to a shot. We get a wing play, putting in 1v1, a cross, and then the striker gets to the first post, the timing, and the last one, a midfielder getting into the box while the ball is crossed in. Great examples. We want to see more of that in the Hero Indian Super League. See you in part 3, where we're going to look into transition moments.